worked. We
It,
did it.
indeed.
Hi, Goran. How are you?
Good, good. How are you, Isabella?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for being here. I'm going to introduce all of our lovely guests to what's happening right now. So, right now it's Goran Visnjic and me, Izabela Vidovic. We are both in the feature film The Accursed, and we're just here to talk to you all and have some fun, silly conversations. So, Goran, how are you? You moved to England since I last saw you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in my garage.
Uh-huh.
This is my setup, my little computer and
I
everything.
love it.
Uh, yeah, we're still kind of like, putting everything together.
Yes.
But it's really nice. We're right on the ocean, and it's life is busy, kids,
Yeah.
school, dance, acting, this and that, auditioning, working. So
Acting.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
Sounds like kids are
yeah.
taking after you.
It started. Vigo was acting in one of the movies I did years ago, and he kind of liked it. So when we came here in England, he was asking, Dad, you used to do acting when you were a kid in amateur theater. Is there anything like that in England? And I was like, let's check it out.
Yeah.
So we did, and it was this beautiful little theater in the city, Penzance. The Pirates of Penzance. That's the Penzance. So we found the
Wow.
theater. Yeah, we found the theater there, and they go once a week. His brother also goes with him, just kind of because he's bored and he wants to do something. But it can't hurt. Acting can't hurt.
No, it really can't.
So
That's amazing.
we'll see. Is he going to do it for real later on or not? But it's
Hmm.
fun. It's really fun. So let them
Yeah.
play. Let them enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, my younger sister, Katerina, she tried it and she had fun. She didn't do it.
Hmm.
She didn't end up doing it. But acting classes, oftentimes I think people take class and they don't end up doing it, but they said they had a great time doing it. So, like you
Yeah.
said, it really can't hurt.
I have a friend who does improv theater in
Hmm.
Germany, and she loves it. She really enjoys, and they
Yeah.
go there and do all these kind of crazy things, and they have fun. So if it's going to go further or not, it really doesn't. It's kind of like playing an instrument. You don't have to be
Right.
a professional. You can always enjoy playing an instrument.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. So, no, it can't. Well, okay. So, speaking of acting, you and I, we act alongside each other in The Accursed. And so when I was putting together, we talked and I was putting together these questions and I'm like, I want to put together questions that are kind of fun, like not so serious.
Uh-huh.
So what I'd be curious to know, do you have a favorite and a least favorite scene that you did in the film? Because not everybody does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of wary of the word favorite because there are two favorites, kind of like it's a favorite scene to see on
Hmm.
screen when the project is finished, and then it's favorite scene to do it on a day. There's like, there is, it's a different thing. Sometimes you see a movie and you're like, oh my God, I really love this scene, but you really are barely in it or something like that. And then there are
Sure.
scenes, I remember the final scene in Accursed, when Yancy is just, locked in, and Nicola comes with that bowl of food and feeds
Hmm.
her. You would say there is no words. There is like apparently nothing's going on, but the scene to me to do it on a day was so powerful because it said so much about these people that they will never
Yeah.
leave each other. That there's so much love, so much nourishment, so much connection between these two people. So that was my favorite scene, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
fun fact, also for everybody joining, we're talking about The Accursed, the film that Gordon and I, our latest film. And that scene that he's talking about, you actually chipped in a suggestion for that. You suggested for Nicola to be in that scene because originally it wasn't written that way.
Yeah. Well, I learned since I was a kid that this is a collaborative effort. We are all
Hmm.
striving to have the best possible product. The best movie, the best theater show, the best TV show, whatever.
Right.
And all my work when I was in ER and everything, you always were able to voice yourself and to give a suggestion or something, especially if it's coming from a good place. It's not coming from your
Right.
egoism or something. It's like you really want to make things better. And Elizabeth and Catherine, I mean, you know, on set, they were always open to suggestions, and they were really open about it. If they liked it, they liked it. If they don't like it, they would be like, we're not sure about
Right.
that. So it's how it works, you know. So great. I'm happy that it ended up in it.
Yeah, I am too. I really, really liked it because it tied your storyline together. You know, it came full circle for you
Yeah,
and for Yancey, which
yeah.
I really liked. So if you could sum the film up then in just one word, do you have one?
Family. Very,
Yeah,
very simple.
did you talk to George about it? Because that's what George said.
No, I mean, you know, I've been having these interviews lately, and they were around Thanksgiving, and these guys would be saying, "Oh, so, you know, it's Thanksgiving, it's a family time." And I'm like, this is a family movie. I mean, it's a weird family, it's dangerous family. It's like, but you don't want to be a part of it. But, you know, you
Right.
almost feel like a voyeur, you know, looking inside this family. But, you know, it is a family. It's
Yeah.
a That's summing up, you know, every family has some dirty laundry, every family has secrets, bigger or smaller, you know, black magic or no, but
I know.
every family
Oof.
does.
This
Yeah,
family is no exception. It's just a
yeah,
little severe, a little
yeah.
extreme. Yeah, no, I mean it is a family film. If your family enjoys watching twisted stories that have a little horror in it, then
Yeah, yeah.
by all
Especially for
means.
Thanksgiving, you know.
I know, right? Well, also Christmas is coming up. It's another time to watch
Of
movies.
course, yeah. Very family movie time, you know.
Very family oriented.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, Thanksgiving is all about eating. And you and I are both obviously Croatian, Eastern European. Food is big in our culture. And the film is set kind of against like Eastern European culture. So, have you ever given thought to what you think maybe Nicola would eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
In all honesty, I really wasn't thinking about that. You know, but talking about putting things into your body, you know, I'm sure Nicola loves a good slivovica or lozovac or something like that. I love that.
Probably.
I love that scene also, you know, when we had singing and he has a sip and then smacks the glass in the
Yep.
ground, you know. That was kind of like, that's for me. Nicola, I have a feeling like I would like to imagine he's not big on food. His food for him is just kind of like a fuel to get
Uh-huh.
him through the day. But his drinks are kind of special. He's going to go there and like,
Important.
I'll have my old Slivovitz, I'll have Solarica, a glass of wine, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Yep.
not say he's an alcoholic, but he is an alcoholic.
Yeah, but it's loosely used, loose term. That's so funny. I asked George this question, and I don't know if you remember the scene. You weren't in the scene, but it was with George and Mayara and me and Yancy, and there's food at the table. And George said that his character would eat sarma, and
Uh-huh.
I thought that was funny because during the actual filming of the scene, there was sarma. And my
Yeah,
mom
yeah, yeah.
actually made homemade sarma, and George had to eat so much of it that by the end of the day he was like, "Oh." But it was great. It was great to kind of introduce that, into the film. I thought it was cool.
Man, it was, you know, it's like it's always those details, you know, when you make a movie about people who are coming from a certain region or area or whatever, the
Yeah.
more detailed you are, you don't need to put it into people's faces, you know, but
Mm-mm.
you need to kind of work on it. You need to show it. You need to, and those details are going to just tell the story.
Hmm.
It's gonna be more believable story.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree. I agree. I think it brings people into the world a lot
Hmm.
more. Um, was there a character in The Accursed that you, as Goran, responded to, like male or female, that aside from Nicola?
Well, Moira's character was really, you know, because Nicola finds her lying in the blood, you know, so that kind of felt, I kind of strangely felt it like it was very personal to me, you know, like
Hmm.
almost, I don't know, seeing my daughter or something like that. It was a little bit weird. So maybe
Yeah.
that was, and that was the only scene we shot outside of the I shot outside of the backyard of
Yeah,
the house and everything.
that one
So that
location.
kind of jumped out a little bit
Hmm.
differently. Yeah. So there was that connection. Of course, with Yancy, because
Yeah.
we had the most together. It was all that history and stuff like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I always think that's interesting because sometimes you personally respond more to other characters than you do to the one you're playing.
Yeah.
Depends
Yeah.
on, it depends on who what your character
I mean,
is. But
you should, because when you and I are talking, okay, I see myself on camera right now, but when you talk to other
mhm.
people, you don't see yourself. You see other people. You see the reflection of what you say on their faces and stuff like that. So you, as an
Yeah,
actor, you need to learn how to listen to other people, because sometimes, I know a long time ago in the theater, when I would just start, you would see on people's faces, they don't hear what you say. They just think, and now it's my line.
right.
you know
No,
so yeah, you
exactly.
really need to learn to listen that other person, and
Hmm.
then you connect with them. Everything
Yeah,
becomes better. The whole scene becomes better.
yeah. Well, that's, the biggest misconception about acting is that it's all about like memorizing your lines and making sure that you have your lines, and it's like none of that matters
Yeah,
because in real life, I don't know what you're going to say next, and it's really,
yeah.
I think once that clicked for me, I was like, oh, I just have to listen. you
But
know?
for me, I have to say, the really important thing in acting is actually, I mean, it's kind of like a base. It's kind of like, driving a car with no tires, it's like
Hmm.
memorizing the lines. If you're able to memorize them so much that you really don't need to think about them, they're going to just
Yeah.
come out. So you can actually think the thoughts, and lines are going to come out. That's, for me, the pinnacle of acting, because then you can really do whatever hell you want,
No, of
in the
course.
moment. Yeah.
Well, otherwise they get in the way. Otherwise they
Yeah.
get in the way,
Yeah.
and then you don't get to actually focus on the other person because you're racking your brain for what you have to say. So
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely. I
It
yeah.
does happen on TV quite often because you just can't memorize everything on there. So you're kind of like, then
Uh-huh.
it's
You're
like,
doing like 10 pages a
yeah,
day and you're like,
yeah,
"Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God."
yeah.
Yeah. So, well, okay, so being that, you've been in this industry. Oh my goodness. This is the first time this has happened
What
to
will
me.
happen?
That's the first time that's ever happened to me. Okay.
I have a little
But
pop socket, and I'm holding it literally in my hand.
you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna edit that out and then I'm gonna put
Oh,
this. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, okay, reset. So,
reset.
okay, so what I was saying is that, you've been in this industry for so long and you've been acting for so long, and I wonder, have you considered acting to be your outlet, or because the reason I ask this is because I find that actors either latch on to acting as their outlet, as sort of the way that they let out emotion, that they express themselves, and then others find it to be more like a profession, and it's separate from how they express themselves emotionally. And I kind of wonder where you lie.
I think it literally goes from project to project. Sometimes I'm very pragmatical person, and this is the profession that I
Mm-hmm.
love and I enjoy, and I wouldn't be able to do anything else. I mean, I would if I'm forced to, of course, but I
Mm-hmm.
really do enjoy it. And every job is different. Sometimes we're gonna take something because we're not crazy maybe about the project, but you think it's gonna be good for your career.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes, you're not crazy about the project, but the money's really good. Or sometimes money is really nothing, and it's going to be really tough, but you love the role and you love
Right.
the job. So, it's a job, it's a profession. So every job inside that profession, I take it, one by one. There
Mm-hmm.
is no rule. There is no one blanket that covers all of them.
Sure.
Like Accursed, for example, it started as a small independent movie, like literally family movie. I mean, you guys built it from the scratch, you
Yeah.
know. But when we came on set and we actually started working on it, it was something. It was tangible. It was really well thought, and it was pleasure to be part of that set. you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So there is no simple answer to that question.
Sure.
I enjoy, if I'm not working for a long period of time, I'm going crazy,
Yeah.
So I would say it's some kind of an outlet, but it's more kind of like to prove myself something, or it's
Sure.
very, you know, it's
Yeah.
all over the place. It's part of your life, pretty much, big part of your life.
Well, of course. I mean, I think that, it also it can apply to anything. I mean, there are professions that are not artistic and that people find to be outlets for themselves. Not everybody
Hmm.
is expressing themselves artistically. It's not within it's not a need for everybody to be artistic in order to like express their emotions. So,
But there's also in our profession, you have different actors for certain role,
mhm,
and when artistic expression is like how far you're going to go in that role, how far you're going to push it. Sometimes
yep,
I audition and I see the tape and I'm thinking, oh my god, this is so big, but I feel like, I feel the need to do something original, to do something really kind of crazy. Sometimes it's
right,
completely wrong. There are plenty of choices. I don't like safe choices. I like to always, every role I do, I like to do something that I didn't do before, or if I
yeah,
can do something new, explore some new area,
mm-hmm.
and that's an artistic choice.
Yes, completely. I think that's what was probably the most liberating thing that I ever heard was that there's always room for improvement. Like I heard
Yeah,
that a long time ago as just training like really, really young. And that gave me complete peace was just knowing that no matter how good you are, no matter where you are, there's always room to be better.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think that's such a beautiful thing because it's like you're never gonna fully master a craft. Like there's always learning to do. And I think that's really liberating.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you can always do different. It's not just better.
Hmm.
It's like once somebody told me, "Oh my God, your choices as an actor, they're always kind of like." I'm like, "Whoa, you mean
Like
this
what?
bad or this good?" No, 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 no. They're good, but they're like kind of different. They're weird. I'm like,
Hmm.
"Okay, thank you. I'm gonna take it as a compliment." But
Yeah,
the conversation started. I was a little bit like,
right. No, I
you
mean
know.
I know because you never. But I think I would rather get that reaction from somebody than like, yeah, you're fine. You're
Yeah,
all
I
right.
know. Yeah,
Right? Like you.
completely
Well,
agree.
I would, then I wonder out of, because you obviously have such a long, like you've done so, from ER to film like Practical Magic to even like you worked with one of my favorite directors, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. So like of all the projects that you've done in which space did you feel like you had the most creative freedom? Like when did you get to play? Is there something that sticks out for you?
I mean, it there is there is something in it when you play a character, when you play, even like if you play a bad guy or something, there is more space, there's more wiggling room, there's more,
Hmm.
you're able to do more things because the character supports that. I've just done the new Hellraiser reboot on Hulu, and I was playing this weird character. There was a lot of like movement involved, a lot of acting, put it that way. But somebody would go this direction or that. I was enjoying like a pig in the mud. Now is it going to be good or bad? I have no idea, but it felt good at in the moment. Like
Right.
in Timeless, I was playing Garcia Flynn. I loved
Uh-huh.
that character because it was so much space to do so many crazy things.
Right.
And writers and creators of the show supported that. Eric Kripke and Sean Ryan. I mean, I love those guys. They're like, yeah, dude, go for it. And
Right.
then you feel that you have a solid wall behind you, that these people trust you as an actor, and you can do these big things. And you see it, and you're kind of like, okay, yeah, it works.
Exactly. Well,
So
also, and what's the worst thing is that it doesn't, you know?
if it doesn't, I mean, you need to trust the director that if it's not good, that he's gonna. Once I did a movie, and it was my big speech, but the colleague was listening to me, and I remember we finished the scene. I said to the director, it was the deep end scene with Tilda Swinton, And I said to
Mm-hmm.
David Siegel, I'm like, you know what? I'm really not happy how I've done this, but if your camera is on me because I'm talking, please just, Tilda was listening to me so beautifully. Just put the camera back on her. And when I
Mm-hmm.
was watching the movie, it was about 30% camera was on me, but majority of the scene camera was on her. So I
Uh-huh.
really did something. It wasn't really good. Something was lacking there. But
Uh-huh.
I trusted them, and they exactly did. They protected me. So you could hear my voice, but the camera was until the listening, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So if you do something too big, or if you're trying to experiment or improvise or something, if you trust the director that he's going to protect you, if you do something bad, I think that's better option than to go safe and to underperform and just do something bland and bleak. You know
I
what I mean?
agree. I agree.
No.
Because like you said, it's building that trust with your director and knowing that
Yeah.
they will tell you if it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So, and
absolutely.
that's
It's very
the
important.
best. That's the best. Yeah. No, that's really great. So, on that note then, you can watch Goran, and I act alongside Goran as well in The Accursed. It's our
Yes.
latest film, everybody, and it's produced by Almost Normal Productions, which is where we're at right now. It's on VOD, iTunes, Amazon, Vudu, all the great platforms. The link is in our bio, and if you haven't seen it yet, really, like Goran said, it's a family film.
It's a family film, Thanksgiving, Christmas. You're going to love it.
You're gonna love it. Yeah, twisted family film. I'll give
Yeah.
you a
Just don't let
forewarning.
kids younger than
What would you say?
16, 15.
That's fair. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair. Whatever your
14-ish.
gauge is. Maybe yeah, 14-ish. I don't know. I don't want to give people that gauge.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for a great conversation, Goran.
No, thank you for having me here. It was really awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. This has been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see you in LA, or I'll come to England whenever it happens,
Yeah,
right?
we have the numbers and IGs and
All
you
the
know
things you need.
all the yeah all the things we need.
Perfect. Well,
All the
thank
best
you.
to Elisabetta and Catherine and Mario.
Yes. Yes, and
Yeah,
to you and your family.
yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Good night. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Bye. Bye. Bye.